Mortgage repayments are breaking the bank. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your, cheap water and let's have a look at this article from the Daily Mail discussing, Aussies that are struggling with their mortgage repayments. Now we'll have a look here because what's quite interesting in this article, and I'll have a swig of water, is the amount of money that people have on their mortgages that are getting into trouble. Let me know in the comments, guys, how much you reckon the mortgage that people are struggling to repay? $500,000? 800,000? $1 million bucks? More? How much do you think? That's good. So, the mortgage amount that's breaking Aussies as those struggle to make their payments soars. So are you ahead or behind? That's the question. I know a lot of viewers of the channel would have fixed their mortgage years ago. And I've got till November. How long that's going? Oh, not long now. So, mortgage stress in Australia is at its highest level since the GFC. But many borrowers are struggling to get help from their bank. A new report by the ASIC revealed a 54% increase in home loan hardship notices from mortgage holders in the last quarter of 22 compared with the same period in 2022. So the last quarter of 23 compared to 22, okay. But what are the whole numbers? How many people? Do you have that in the article here? Because if we're talking, 54% increase, that makes it sound significant and scary and a lot. And over 80% related to owner-occupiers, while the average home loan balance for customers requesting help from their lender was $312,000. So the majority are owner-occupiers, and it's only $312,000. That is not that much. Let's look up, Commonwealth Bank Home Loan Calculator. I'll just go to the website here. I don't want to go Macquarie. We don't want to bank with them. No one's fans with them anymore. Here we go. Home Loan Calculator. There we go. How much can I borrow? Repayment calculator. What are we looking at? 312,000. Let's make it 320. Let's say you got 20% off with what one? We'll go the worst one here. Standard variable home loan with an LVR of 90 to 95%. Owner-occupier. Calculate. So that is a monthly repayment of $2,626. Now, what is that? Let's go weekly. I like weekly because that's how you want to pay your mortgage off always with a weekly payment because it makes a tiny, tiny difference. So we're looking at $600, $606 a week for a mortgage repayment. Now, if we look at the ABS, please. There we go. The average weekly earnings is $1,888 of a full-time adult. So after tax, you think, particularly if there's two people in a house, you should be able to. No, I don't want to borrow money. No, thank you, Bank. This is not an amount I would consider, as a weekly amount. I would consider something that's going to really crush someone. So you must be in a pretty bad financial situation if you're doing that. I mean, what's that over? Hang on. 54 times 606, 30 grand a year, $33,000 a year. So let's keep going at this. I wonder if it's family breakdown, stress, or job loss, which is causing this. In the worst cases, lenders ignored hardship notices, effectively abandoning customers who need their support, ASIC Chair Arthur Longo said. ASIC said that overcommitment was the most common reason for requesting hardship assistance. But the average balance. Okay, so that's the average. That feels really low. I thought we'd be seeing a whole lot of people with $800,000 mortgages that borrowed way too much during the mania that happened of the pandemic, being hit hard, not someone with a 300 grand loan. $600 a week. Other reasons included reduced income, that's it, medical issues, unemployment, and separation. Separation is probably one of the biggest ones. There was an article I just read recently about a woman who was conned out of $500,000 her divorce settlement. There you go. We can see here how much more Australian borrowers are paying, from 2.69% to 6.69%. You know, you're up $5,000. Nearly $2,000 more a month you have to find. But that's on an $800,000 mortgage. We've got people here with $300,000 mortgages. I mean, how many of you would have no problem with $600 a week? I'm sure many of you are paying more than that. People are paying that in rent, to rent a shitbox. The report said bank and non-bank lenders are failing struggling customers. The report documents the harrowing case of mortgage owners experiencing family violence. The woman wanted to move into an apartment with her daughter and called her lender to defer her repayments. Even though she was in distress, the woman was put on hold by her lender for 1 hour before the call dropped out. She called back but had a similar experience. Then an online application for hardship failed to lodge correctly due to a problem with the lender's portal. It took 5 weeks to have the loan deferral approved. Yeah, I mean, we're talking big corporations here. Does anyone expect competency? Yeah. ASIC revealed that some lenders made getting financial hardship help so hard, 35% of mortgage holders had dropped out of the application process at least once. Or maybe those 35% had got this shit together. Stuff had worked out. The report also found 40% of customers who received hardship assistance through reduction or deferral of payments fell straight back into arrears as soon as the assistance period ended. The mortgage holders needed help and went to their lender for assistance. ASIC said that in the worst cases, lenders totally ignored hardship notices, abandoning their customers when they put their hands up for help. But aren't banks meant to be the good guys, everyone? For people who reach out to their lender to signal they need support, this can be devastating. Too many Australians in financial hardship are finding it hard to get help from their lenders, and it's time for meaningful improvement, Mr. Longo said. I remember when everyone was getting like a default mortgage repayment extensions of up to a year. Remember that back in the day? It's years ago now, isn't it? He said ASIC wrote an open letter to the CEOs of lenders in 2023, imploring them to meet their obligations to customers doing it tough. What we've seen is simply not good enough. Struggling customers deserve the right support in their time of need. Mr. Longo said it's time for the gloves to come off. ASIC had made this a priority focus area, and where appropriate, we will not hesitate to take enforcement actions to protect customers. So here's the number of hardships. 73,000 in New South Wales, 71,000 in Victoria, 47,000 in Queensland, 32,000 in WA, South Australia had 16,700, Tas 4.3, ACT 3.5, Northern Territory 2.5. So this is why we're getting this $300,000 mortgage. We need to look at it because you're lumping in the Northern Territory, Tasmania. It's not that many. You've got a much larger sample up here. I guess WA will be a bit lower. The ASIC report, it's probably people who've been dutifully paying their loan, but life's just fallen over or something devastating has happened to them. The ASIC report criticised the critical failures of the lenders to identify customers in financial trouble, the use of cookie-cutter approaches to dealing with hardship requests, as well as complicated assessment and approval processes. On a state-by-state basis, New South Wales had the largest number of borrowers in difficulty, but relative to population size, more Victorians sought more mortgage hardship help. Well, you guys voted in Dan Andrews again. What do you expect? The report didn't single out any particular financial institution for criticism, but did state that larger lenders have more resources and better processes for dealing with struggling mortgage holders. The ABA Chair Anna Bligh responded to the report. In any organisation, there's always room for improvement. Banks will consider these findings and work with ASIC on any further ways to support customers. If customers are experiencing hardship, ASIC advises they contact their lender as soon as possible. If they are unhappy with these services received or their lender's decision, they should contact the Australian Financial Complaints Authority. There you go. So and monthly repayments have soared by 59%. Yes, but let's have a bit of a chat about this one, guys. Everyone should understand that the rates we saw when the cash rate was at 0.1% was a once-in-a-lifetime oddity. That wasn't going to last forever. Rates are not going to go back down to that level. I would be shocked if in the rest of my entire life I ever see interest rates that low again. I'd bet a carton we don't. So, if people borrowed on a very low rate and didn't expect it to go up to the normal bands, whose fault is that? I mean, can we blame the individual? I mean, we can't do that in Australia. The individual's never responsible. Do we blame the media for pushing the narrative that the RBA wasn't going to raise rates until 2024? And 2024 is like forever in the future, so it didn't matter, even though we're there now. Or is it just the lack of understanding? Our education system failing with regards to financial literacy and competency? Or just people trying their luck? And I think this is what it is. Going, we'll sort it out later. We'll borrow what we can here. We need to get in the housing market. It's not going to get any cheaper. And it's not. And just go for it. So, I mean, no one wants to be in this situation where you need to go to a bank for financial hardship, but you would much rather, work through a rough patch, keep the stability of your home, rather than being forced to sell and being destitute and losing everything you've built, than the alternative. So I can see that's why they're encouraging you to reach out. I'd say it's pure incompetence rather than malice from the banks. What do you reckon, guys? But I'm shocked at how little that mortgage amount was, that average was. I thought it would have been higher because we're not talking a lot of money here. Perhaps it's because you have a generation now that have to wait later and later to pay off their mortgage. So you've got people late in life, still in debt, and maybe trying to pay a mortgage on a pension. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next episode. Bye for now.